Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Pastor J. Carter, the Change Church. Jumping online and hit you with another video. I wanted to first come online and tell you thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, getting the message out. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Okay? I don't know what you're waiting on. But I wanted to come online and tell you that marriage is work. Anyone that tells you that marriage isn't work is an absolute liar or a fool. Marriage is work. And it doesn't matter if you're working on yourself to be better for the marriage. It doesn't matter if you're working on the marriage. It doesn't matter if you're working on your finances. It doesn't matter if you're working on goals. Just listen, it is work. And it's work, but it is rewarding work. It is exciting work as long as you have a partner. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about a few things in marriage that people don't like to talk about. One thing is that it is difficult for a man to be a husband if he, one, is not led by God. Two, if he is not, if he's never had a true sight of what a husband is, a true meaning of what a husband is, a true meaning of what a father is. And that same goes for the wife. The same goes for the wife. So if the wife isn't led by God, if the wife has never had like an awesome, wife figure in her life, it is going to be a struggle too. You know what I'm saying? So also personality traits play a major, major part. Maybe you are a person who, and love languages play another part, but maybe you're a person who likes to talk. I'm a talker, right? Normally you'll be with somebody who doesn't talk as much, right? I'm a person, I'm very vulnerable. So I will let you know all about my business. I'm going to tell you my business. You don't got to hear about it from nobody else. I'm going to tell you. And some people are actually more private than others, which is fine, but you just have to learn your balance in your work. Also, a lot of times we forget that even in marriage, you serve the other person. Marriage is not for you. You serve the other person. Also, marriage a lot of times is a foundation work for legacy. What are you trying to leave behind? What are you trying to, once you are dead and gone, what will people say about you? Once you are dead and gone, what will your children say about you? Once you are dead and gone, and a lot of times we don't realize this, but everything we do impacts the marriage, regardless of what it is. If you work too much, it impacts the marriage because now you're not spending time with your person. I get that you have a goal, but now you're not spending time with your person because you work too much. You're not spending time with your kids. Because you work too much. If you trapping, you're not spending time with your person, and you're also putting your family in a different predicament, having to whether bail you out or whether having to come see you or XYZ or whatever. So it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And that's just with work. So let's not factor in health issues, mental health issues, especially if there was a trauma bond. And that's something that you have to recognize. If you and your person have a trauma bond, maybe you've been through the same experiences, and maybe those same experiences are what fused you all together. And but now you all are working through those experiences, or maybe you're in therapy and the other one isn't, or whatever the case may be. But now that trauma bond is breaking and you feel like there's nothing left. Like that was the only thing that held us together. You see what I'm saying? Or like I just say, it's work. But you have to be willing to find that person that you're going to work for, that you're going to work with, that you're going to work to make sure that they're good no matter what. So you don't have to worry about your happiness per se. If you are, one, internally happy with yourself, and then two, your goal is to serve the other person, but it must be reciprocated in order for things to truly, truly work. And that's something that is so hard to understand, is that some people are very, I don't want to say selfish, but they only think about themselves. They don't think about the other person or the other party. And that's something you really got to take into consideration, which is my number one favorite word for relationships: consideration. Because would you do what you're doing if you considered your spouse? That's just, it's a consideration. Would you do what you're doing if you considered your spouse? If you considered your spouse. What is the reason why you work so much? Are you considering your spouse? What is the reason why you're always, gone? Are you considering your spouse? What is the reason why you don't have date nights? Are you considering your spouse? What is the reason why you don't want to go to a football game? Are you considering your spouse? I'm not a big football person, but I sit through any game for my son. I sit through any game for my husband. I'm going to sit through it. But I'm not a happy camper, but I'm like, yay. I mean, one time I'm cheering for the wrong team. Okay. I didn't even know, like, no, or not them. Oh, my bad. So all I'm saying is when you are fighting for your person, or when you're in your marriage, or when you're in your relationship, the thing is that relationship is supposed to serve. You are supposed to serve. But don't forget, if you are pushing this out, expecting it to be reciprocated is natural. But you shouldn't expect it. And that's a hard pill for humans to swallow. Because for humans, we feel like if I do X, Y, and Z for you, regardless of what that is, if I do X, Y, and Z for you, the least you can do is give me some consideration. The least you can do is talk to me. The least you can do, you know what I'm saying? So you go through these things. But in all honesty, the only reason why they would talk to you is if they considered you. The only reason why they would go above and beyond is if they considered you. So you have to mindfully think, when it comes to things, just what are you willing to stand for in your marriage? What are you willing not to? Are you willing to do the work to get things resolved? Are you willing? And sometimes people ain't willing. And you got to learn to be okay with that if they are not willing. You have to learn to be okay with that. And as always, take it to God in prayer. So again, I want you to grab your water. Do a couple sit-ups. Get your to-do list, because we laser focused this year. Boom, boom.